and by Bass Pro Shops.
Welcome into On Location coverage stop 6 of the 2023 Bassmaster Elite Series, the Folds of Honor Bassmaster Elite at the Sabine River. Beautiful Orange, Texas, our host community, and for the 5th time, the Elite Series returns to Orange, Texas. And every single time we come here, it is always an adventure. Not the biggest fish in the world, but man, $100,000 on the line. And look at that leaderboard. Kenta Kamira at the top, Jacob Prosnick behind him, Hunter Fryock once again in the mix in our top 10. Good to see Elite Series rookie Alex Weatherall. And in 5th place, everybody in the bass fishing world is smiling to see Larry Nixon in the mix with 10 pounds, 2 ounces. Steve Kendi in the mix. And Keith Poche in 8th place. A lot. And Daryl Gleason, maybe the closest angler to this area, having a good tournament, having a great season this year on the Bassmaster Elite Series. But it's always a great season when I get to hang out with this guy. Davey Height, 2-time Angler of the Year, Bassmaster Classic champion. You've competed here. Tell me about the pressure cooker that Orange, Texas is.
Well, I think it's, obviously tough for everyone, but it's all about a mindset when you come to a place like this. I've been to fisheries like this that you just know that 10 pounds is really, really going to do good. A lot of the places we go, 10 pounds, you're at the bottom of the list. But here it's all about a mindset. Catch 5 quality fish, and all of that's, that's relative. A quality fish here is 2 to 3 pounds, 4 or 5 pounder, you're a rock star. So it's all about a good mindset. They're going to give away the exact same amount of money to the winner, the exact same blue trophy. And, man, the crowds here, you have to, just be so excited to know that we're going to have probably 30, 40, maybe even 50,000 people here this weekend.
That's right. Last time we were here, Orange, Texas has kind of traded the record with Waddington, New York, but Orange, Texas is the all-time Elite Series attendance record holder. Set that the last time we were here with 40,107 people. And I had to say 107 because we're thankful for every one of them, whether it's the 40,000 or the 7.
Yeah.
Thankful for every one of them that come out here to this amazing fishery, but a big playing field, Davey Height.
Yeah, it is. The biggest playing field we'll have, but unfortunately it fishes a little small at times. Looking at Toyota Midday Report, Caleb Summerall, we had to have a camera with him. He's had a success here in the past. He is a Louisiana boy. And one that we thought might take a gamble today and make a long run, and he did just that. We'll see. He didn't make a long run this morning. This is just around the corner from takeoff. Caleb Summerall put a couple fish in the boat, and he says, man, I've got to go where I've got a chance to catch some bigger fish, and he made about a 2-hour run over across Galveston Bay into the Houston area. So we'll see. I think he was in Clear Creek a little bit after he got over there, and this is the first fish we saw him put in the boat once he got over there. Not a lot bigger than what he caught right here in Orange, but definitely thinks he's got a better chance to catch a 3-pounder over there.
There's a guy who's made that run to Houston before, Brock Mosley.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little surprising to see Brock not make that run today. Last time we were here, he made the run the first few days and then stayed closer on the final 2 days and was able to have a good finish. Another one of his second-place finishes, one of his bridesmaid finishes, as you mentioned. And he's had, unfortunately, too many of those. We expect him to hold a blue trophy over his head real soon. Brock Mosley has a lot of confidence fishing here, and he is one of those anglers that can definitely get in the right mindset. Getting it going. A little top water action. It is the last day of May, June. That's always good to think about top water.
Lee Livesey, always in the mix when we come here. It seems like this top fishery sets up well for him.
Yeah, he's another angler that a lot of the reason we have a camera with him, he's done well here before, but in my opinion, the reason he's done well here before, he just understands his playing field. Yeah, I like to compare our sport to other sports and try to make it all relative. When you're playing in snowy, windy conditions in football, whether it's NFL, college, or high school, the scoring is probably not going to be quite as good as it would be on a 60-degree, low wind, beautiful afternoon. And it's just that way in professional fishing. You just have to understand, hey, I've got to set my goals smaller than I do for most tournaments and try to go catch those fish. Lee Livesey is one of those guys that does a good job at that.
Greg Hackney, a former champion right here.
Great watching Greg Hackney throw a spinnerbait, the old school spinnerbait. catching those fish and a buzzbait quite a bit. Like you said, he's a former winner here. He knows how to fish these tougher conditions, grew up doing that. Talked about where the crawfish live here and how aggressive these fish. Definitely one of the anglers, I know I've said it about several, but it's the reason we have cameras in them, had a positive attitude coming in this tournament. He knows the $100,000 is $100,000, whether you catch 100 pounds and join a Century Club or you catch 40 pounds.
Does a tough tournament like this bode better for veterans, just in the way that they've seen it happen?
Yeah, I think it does, and it's so difficult, especially for a new elite angler trying to think, hey, I need to go out there and find a way to catch 1.5 to 2.5 pound bass. It's just hard as a young angler. You know, we were all young anglers at one point. To have that mindset, you don't have to catch 3+ pounders, because 9 times out of 10 on Elite Series you do have to catch that. But it's tough on a younger angler to get that mindset.
Last time we were here, the champion was Jason Christie, and it was a lot like a NASCAR event. I mean, he was managing gas. That's as far as he was running. Came back each day with 1 gallon of gas left.
Oh, boy. Oh, he got him in the boat that quick. I thought he turned around because a little different than the one we saw him last on a frog that was about 7 pounds. He caught a 9-pounder at Lay Lake, not on a frog, but it's just a little unusual to see Jason Christie swing them in the boat that fast. That one's going to be line burner.
Gosh, that's 3, like 12 inches.
Obviously a 12-inch size limit here.
Yeah, you look at that and you think, wow, why is he even putting him in the live well? But that's his 4th keeper. Here, if you're not fortunate enough to catch that 2.5 or 3 pounders like our top 5 or 6 anglers have done, then you need to absolutely feel your limit. Even if they are just 12.5 inches, feel your limit, because you don't want to come in with 3 fish that weigh, 3 pounds or 2.5. So hard to make up ground here. And you see, Jason Christie won here before, but he's still one of those guys we very well may have a camera with him here on the first day, just because, like you said, these anglers with so much tournament experience understand it's just a different playing field. And this tournament is just as important for your career as one that you catch a lot heavier fish.
But what a difference, like you said, the last tournament. We're watching him catch giants. But now a 4-box. Christie, Cobb, Lee Livesey, and Greg Hackney. And boy, that is a foursome that has, put their trophy shelves together. They have.
Absolutely. Some great fishermen there. And Brandon Cobb having such a good season this year. Only 2 fish so far. It'll be real important, like I mentioned earlier, for him to catch his 5-fish limit, even if they are just barely 12 inches, because he could lose a lot of ground here. And that's why I said it's, for your career, you better try to get that mindset and have a positive outlook when you go out here for this tournament, especially, to be honest with you, even more so in the Slugfest than in the Slugfest.
It's real easy to fall victim to the dock talk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Cobb struggling for the first time that we've seen this season, but we've also seen moments like this where we're like, oh, Cobb's struggling. Then it seems like he
works out
2
for
fish
us
right at the very end. And
we have gotten a little past the best wacky rig time of year, so to speak, here in Texas, with it being almost June, and definitely postpone. But he did, even even though he's just got 2 fish today so far, he said, hey, I like fishing these tougher tournaments. We hope he has that attitude this afternoon. Jason Christie with another fish on a frog.
Yes.
A little better, and that'll be his fifth one. I'm sure he's glad to get that.
Now we get to see which one of the 12 inches gets to go back.
Now that must be his 6th fish he's culling. Fish care always very important, but here 4-ounce penalty could mean 5 or 6 places.
Get them out on the carpet.
And you don't have to look any further than our last event to see how those can haunt you.
Black is a...
I watched the weigh in, but not on side. Brandon seemed to take that well, like you would expect, but still had to be very, very tough.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he said he was kind of. He said it's the only time I've ever had enough weight to win a tournament, and had, you know, so you kind of feel. But like he said, you know, in his opinion, it was Will Davis's time, and that's why. But man, what a streak he's on! Two seconds in a row, one in the Opens, and of course that one in the Elite Series. And we're heading to where he's very, very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, look at.
This one's tore the nose out of it. Well, I mean, when I put them in there, you know, I felt like they went, but.
I think maybe he was concerned about just what we talked about, fish care, because you cannot cull a dead fish.
I don't know why they're not hitting it way out there.
One of those fish
by the boat.
He was a little concerned about.
You think white would, or shad color would be a better color, but the way they're biting it.
Get asked all the time. Pros really use the same lures that we can buy in the store. You just saw Jason Christie open that package and get that frog out that he's tying on.
A photo shoot, and they brought me this frog, and they're, hey, we want you to throw it a little bit. Get some pictures. And I'm like, dude, come on now. I'm just not a like small bait kind of person. My first bite on it was 8.
You're like, all right, thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, at this event, I mean, you're literally looking for bites, you know, and it makes you feel like, because when I'm here and I throw that big frog, I feel like I'm throwing a submarine over the top of them.
Little ones a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because you know they're all.
Yeah, you're fishing for a different. Yeah.
Jason Christie talking about fishing a smaller size frog than he normally does, which certainly makes sense to me. Fishing for a little smaller fish here. But,
I mean,
like he said,
your first fish is an 8.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like he said, you don't always necessarily catch small fish with small baits.
And no better way to make you a believer on small frogs than just catch an 8 with your first fish.
Yeah.
How does this tournament change being this time of year? I mean, every other time we've come here, other than the time when Hackney won, it was a little earlier in the year.
Yeah.
How different does that change it for the competitors?
So it really should be better. I believe that with all my heart, but there's a couple of things really working against these guys. The high water, the nature's so high. The Sabine has been so high. And then the tides. The tides are not in the favor of these fishermen for the tournament hours that we have. So I think that's what's making the fishing, according to the practice reports, a little tougher.
I've not been bit on the plug yet, but I got bit on the jig, but they're the same fish I caught on the buzz bait. I caught them on 2 different buzz baits. I spinner bait, so I just, I have yet to unlock the key on how to catch the better ones. Like I said the other day when I was in here, it took me today to really realize this, because we're so far from the coast that the tide moves real slow-like. So I kind of figured out the deal was the other day it was on its way out. It was higher on its way out, and this morning when we got here it was low incoming, and it's steady coming up now. So I'm kind of curious to see when the water gets full, how these fish are setting. Like I said, it was high and outgoing, and it was, it's been pretty good this morning as far as bites. I don't know how many bites I've had, but I probably had 20, at least. I don't know, but I just, like I said, I've had possibly 1 bite that would have helped if it was a bass, and I wasn't even 100% sure that it was a bass. And other than that, I've pretty much caught everything that would have helped. So we're gonna run back through some stuff, fish some stuff different, see if I can't, generate some bigger bites. Keepers are, a dime a dozen, but 2-pounders are golden.
Hackney proving he's a pro, picks up right on your points with the tide.
Yeah, even as far away as some of these anglers are, it certainly affects the movement of the water, and it definitely affects where the fish position. Way back many years ago, I won the Classic in Louisiana, a long way from the coast, but there was a tidal influence. Small, but it certainly made a difference where the fish set up and how they set up. Ooh. That should be his 5th kipper. Well, they are eating it good.
His hands look giant this tournament.
Well,
Oh!
Just short.
A little short.
Jason Christie, obviously the defending champion in this event. Brock Mosley has been close in the past.
Yes.
Here we go.
All worth
That's
it.
a solid one there.
The smallest fish is 10 ounces.
He ain't no
I'd say
giant, but he's
big,
gonna
big
be
head.
Than that?
fish.
Yeah.
He's gonna be close to 2 pounds.
I'm going to say that's a 2-pounder.
Oh yeah.
2-4. He didn't tell us.
What's bad is
I thought I
now
heard him say 2 pounds.
I got a fish
I
that's
must
little
have.
one out.
Solid fish there. Good cull. Those are the ones that will move you up the leaderboard, no doubt.
Brock Mosley, the task of trying to find that 10-incher in that live well to let it go. But atop the leaderboard, and man, what a season he is having. What a couple of years he's putting together. Kenta Kamara, both in the Opens and the Elite Series, spent a lot of time on the water, and it is paying off because he is leading this event with 11 pounds at 9 ounces, but just 1 ounce behind him, Jacob Porosnik. And if he's in the mix, you got to figure he'll stick around until Sunday.
Absolutely. A lot of doc talk about Jacob Porosnik doing well this week.
Well, all the chatter's going to be about the guy in 5th if he stays there. Larry Nixon in the top 10 at the Folds of Honor Bassmaster Elite at the Sabine River.
Honoring past achievements as we step into the future. Make the best better. That's what we do. Radically redefined, the NRX